Hi, I'm John, and this talk is called MDS So What Now? And I'm trying to cast my mind back to 2.5 years ago when I was first diagnosed as having uh, intermediate risk myelodysplastic syndrome. And I guess the key thing was I was one of these people who didn't just want to watch and wait. I was told early on that I had a good chance of continuing a fairly normal life and probably would die of something else completely different, uh, depending very much on the progression of the disease. Uh, However, instead of wanting to wash and wait, I decided I really wanted to understand it. I wanted to start really tracking it in a simple way. I wanted to explore diet and lifestyle changes and keep a record of what I'm doing and sharing it. So these are my tips for anyone who felt like me at that point. So when it comes to trying to understand it, I'm in the UK, but globally, the MDS Foundation is a great resource. Facebook groups, use of AI, and starting a diary. So the MDS Foundation is mds-foundation.org, and lots of useful resources there that can talk about the different types of MDS that there are. But probably the most powerful thing I found is the Facebook groups. There are sort of quite a number of Facebook groups for MDS, for high risk, low risk, also for CMML, which is what my particular disease eventually turned into. But I do encourage people to join these groups. Really friendly people, great moderators, lots of opportunity to ask all the dumb questions and get sympathetic and really useful help. And I've learned probably more through these Facebook groups than I have through any other resources. The other thing is obviously AI, whether it's ChatGPT or Grok. That's getting very good at certain things. Like, for example, if you just feed in the kind of gobbledygook you get from your diagnosis, it'll turn it into and ask it to turn it into plain English language. You'll get nice explanations that can are tailored to exactly your particular variant. And of course, as they get more into genetic profiling, then you may well get the information about the particular mutations that are triggering your particular MDS. And of course, everyone is very, very different. I mean, the ASXL1 seems to be the particular baddie in my case that has caused things to progress towards CMML. The other thing is, a lot of people said they're very interested in how I do this, but basically, I started to track the key blood markers. Hemoglobin, of course, is red blood cells needed for the oxygen supply, the platelets to stop bleeding and to heal over any wounds that you get, and the neutrophils to fight infection. Those are the critical ones. And obviously, there's a preferred range for those. And if you just start month by month, if you're having monthly monitoring, watch and wait, just start charting those. In fact, those are the three main ones just to see how they're doing. I use a simple color code of green is good, in range, red is bad. And then over time, it's really interesting to see how these change. And you can really have a good feeling of what the way things are going. Um, I was really into diet and lifestyle changes, and I mean, I tried, and in fact, still continue to do things like avoiding sugars and really trying to minimize ultra processed foods. I do 16-hour fasting. I've done a lot with traditional Chinese supplements, which all of this stuff seems to be keeping me um, fairly healthy. ready for the stem cell transplant coming up in October. I also wanted to share my information. A lot of people show interest, friends, family, and other members of these various Facebook groups. So I actually set up a web page. So this is the web page that I set up, which has kind of evolved over time, and it's really a sequential diary, month by month, of all the sort of minutiae of learning how the disease is progressing, and how things are going. I also put in there the specifics of what doses of various alternative things I've been trying, like the traditional Chinese medicines. More recently, in the run-up to the next to my admission into hospital in October for the stem cell transplant, I've even gone a bit more outlandish with some of the stuff I'm trying, which again I put on the web page. And something else that is also on the web page is I made a history of all the possible things that could have been a cause of my particular MDS. Interestingly, this is stuff that no one seems to gather. It's a shame, because I think this interesting research work could be done if they asked people for this kind of information. Anyway, I put everything here, warts and all, everything I've done. There's various environmental stuff that probably wasn't a good idea along the way. Personally, I tend to think it was smoking and probably drinking too much beer for several decades were the bigger contributors. But things like exposure to petrol, working in a gas station, other medical interventions more recently could have tipped things as well. We don't know. A lot of speculation around whether that additionally could cause problems. But the key point is I found it quite useful to sort of share this information with other people, and again put it on my diary tracking general information web page, which is johnhudson.net/mds.htm. So feel free to have a look at that, and I always welcome comments. Wish you well on your journey, and I hope this has been useful. Thank you.